There it goes. Okay, the mute button might stay off this time. Namaste and welcome, everyone. How beautiful to see the beloved mighty companions. It's the blessing is so extensive. And we were just talking about, Rita was telling me, I heard Russell, they clear the deck. That's how we feel, like clear the deck for the light circles. Oh my gosh, to get to join. It just becomes such a, yeah, so much love, a blessing, like so much love, like, and letting Jesus do the constellation of beings that join together. Is it like precious or what? And to have beings that you just feel that love so much with and you want to jump and join with. I mean, at first, maybe
Jump and join.
jump to join. Sometimes at first you go, no, don't bring me in there. I'm not going to join. But then when you start seeing the beauty of it, when it's guided by Jesus and how everyone is in these light circles talking Jesus, it's just all the promises fulfilled, all the promises fulfilled. And then Elliot, of course, put this out on the circle, these beautiful things. And peace will continue in his way and trust all things to him. In confidence, we wait his answer, and how the confidence like grows as we're together listening and hearing and speaking, how much more confident we are that vast love, our true nature, speaks to us like, oh, and carries us in everything. And we ask his will in everything. And how even talking about that is like, oh my gosh, so much love. And we're talking about that here, how you start to get this little, when you hear it, and because you were going toward the truth instead of out in the play of consciousness, to see what the heart says, everlasting life says within our heart, to express divine being, rather than that play of, let me try to prove I'm dead. Let me tell Jesus every which way from Sunday, every which way but loose, that I'm dead. This is another way to die, another twig. But then to be given this tremendous gift of the brother, so willing to come together to go, okay, Jesus, give it to me. Just gonna look. Let's see what's under the cover. He's promising supreme happiness. Okay. We're in. I love that. Muji says the serum is in. I love that. The serum's already in because it can't be. Let's look in the light. Can we be anything other than supreme happiness? Like, let's just look in there. Take a look in the light. This infinite, unchanging light. Know anything other? Does it know anything other than happiness? And then the ego, well, I don't know about that supreme happiness. We just start to distinguish which voice is talking. That's what we're really, he's honing in, helping us have the contrast between infinite, all that is, and then contraction, what is not. Like he told me, you have a habit of focusing what's not happening. He's so direct. And everybody here, I know you're hearing him now. We can all hear him, and he gives you that little talk. If you're not sure you're hearing him, join. It's something, he knows what he's doing, obviously, because it seems like every time we join, the reflections are like, and we have that playlist now where we're creating these playlists of videos where beings are joining, so we can remind ourselves how everyone can hear. It's so profound. Like, yeah, so profound. Where Julie is going, and Jesus said he's going to part the waters for me. It's like, that sounds like Jesus. All right, we'll take the part the water. Okay. He loves God's Son as we would love him. He teaches us how to behold him through his eyes. Oh, Jesus. To behold my brothers through your eyes, it can put you on your knees, really, when you start seeing how much your brother brings, what we didn't want to see before, the no to the brother, which is no to ourselves, and love him as he does. You do not walk alone. God's angels hover near and all about. Thank you, Elliot, for sharing this, because we can ask about the angels like right now. In the light of divine being and honesty of God, do God's angels hover near and all about? And hear it. That'll puts me on my knees for sure when I hear that. Yes. And if you ask him, I'm asking him. If you ask him, will he tell you the names of the angels you're with? He said, yep. Ask him. And that is gorgeous. His love surrounds you, and of this be sure, that I will never leave you comfortless. It's so comforting. This was at the end of lesson 365, as he launches us into a new chapter, reminding us he's always here. We can always hear him, even when we pretend we don't. It's like, cut him out. But with the power of this joining is, if you watch those videos, I know many of you are in the videos, and when you watch them, you can see the first things come up is, which is the most beautiful things to look at, is all the reasons why not to hear the voice. Like he's bringing those out in every video. It's like, Jesus, I don't want to hear you because I think I'll be killed. I'm at some harm's going to come to me if I speak your voice. Let's ask him. Jesus, is there any desire below my level of awareness that if I speak those words that you give me through me, is there a desire to have an experience as though I could be hurt by that? Or it could cause a problem. And we just look and then talk to him, just have that one-on-one. Jesus, what do I need to see here about why I really don't want to really talk to you? The voice for God, the voice for everything, the voice for infinite, unchanging happiness. It's like, tell me why again I'm not having that conversation with infinite, supreme happiness. Because the play in consciousness is to pretend like the light will get you. Jesus as the representative of the light's coming to get you, and it ain't going to be good. That's the belief system of the ego. So we'll just look again in the light to be reminded. I love that about the light circles. I feel like that's what he's teaching and reminding. To see infinite light of being is gentle. Is the light gentle? In our direct experience as light beings. Is the light coming to get you? Because that's the way it'll play in consciousness. He's giving us contrasts. Is the light coming to get anybody? Does it have a getting mechanism? Get them. The go get them. Or is it just here? I'm coming for you. All the play in consciousness. Wanting to be chased around and running from God and then going, where's God? It's merely turning the face from the light of infinite being. We're just turning our face away from what's real to the unreal. Keep adjusting that camera. See that it's a desire not to see the light. That's it. It's simple. And a number of you have said that, been beautiful reflections. It's really simple. Light, peace, desire, I equals hell. Hell. There's like, and do we have a choice to be the light? It's good to see. The light, is there a choice for the light not to be here, even if we're not willing to admit, okay, that light's who I am? But does the light go away? Can we chase it out? Can we stamp it down and not see that it's here the minute we look? So it's merely choosing to turn our heads away from it. And it's still there when you turn your head. Just see, we have to look, and honesty of God is the light here. So good to be reminded by Jesus. So we're going to delve into more about sacrifice, because that's the big gig. The flip. As soon as we let him show us how the flip happens, and the flip is merely infinite light happiness to the ego's infinite light hell version. As soon as it's flipped and realized, oh my gosh, I'm choosing to be upside down. I'm choosing to make myself have an experience in which I'm afraid of the light. I'm choosing to have an experience of sacrifice. Jesus, will you show me any desire below my level of awareness to experience sacrifice? It's sacrificing the light. It's like the Old Testament, you know, where they'd carry the lambs on their shoulder, innocence. What a symbol to the temple to be slaughtered. That was the belief system of the ego. The God that demands sacrifice. That's why Jesus came and he wiped that slate clear and said, this is a new covenant. The new covenant. That was an idea in the limitation in the belief in false identity that there's a God that demands sacrifice. This is new, fresh. To see that we have the power to see that light is already here, unchanged by time and space. Let's just see, we can all see it. Is there light here, unchanged by time and space? It's really helpful to be really clear, because we're living, the ego is the Old Testament. The Old Testament, while Adam fell asleep, the New Testament is the awakening. The Old Testament is Adam takes a snooze and then believes God's going to get him for about 1,000 pages. The God of vengeance. The God that would ask Isaac, was it Isaac that goes to kill his son like that? That the belief that God will ask to kill. Sacrifice, blood sacrifice. The ego loves that. A God of sacrifice. Sacrificial ceremonies, the ceremonies to honor God is dead. A God of appeasement. That's worshiping at the altar of death of the ego. So seeing that fear is miscreation, seeing and asking Jesus, as we've been doing, simply, Jesus, show me what's underneath sacrifice. That desire for that experience, and hear what he says. By the way, I just heard we're going to have a spontaneous joining session tomorrow. I think we are. Double check the time. I'll put it out there. Tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, because I just told somebody I'm meeting them at 1, so it might be a little bit later. But I just heard it. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll have a choice. So good to look deeply at these things and also see that our brothers bring in the gift of what Jesus is telling them to bring forth for all of us to look at and to really look together deeply at these concepts, the concept that sacrifice is possible. So sacrifice is just an idea that we can sacrifice ourselves and win salvation. Let's ask the light. The light of divine being, honesty of God, is sacrifice, the desire to sacrifice seeing the light. The idea, like we can ask Jesus to show us, Jesus, show me the desire for salvation through sacrifice. Is that anywhere in below my level of awareness? And we just admit it when it comes into awareness. Let him show it. Today it came to mind, Jesus, show me what I do not want to see. He says, sacrifice. He says, you don't want to see the desire for salvation through sacrifice. That's the whole ego's game. And that sacrifice is a means to salvation. And seeing that we're divine beings is the path to hell. That's the flip. And that's why we keep looking with the light and asking Jesus to tell us, to lead us down the beach and go, okay, here's where your desire is for sacrifice. You want that experience, and getting to the point where we really see how much sacrifice is wanted desperately above having everything. The desire for experience of limitation over light. Yes, we can ask them that because we're divine. This is divine being here. Is there any energy left in even a smidgen sacrifice? So it's hilarious. The ego makes sacrifice so it can pretend that it didn't go like this. So it can't make two. The choice for two is sacrifice, is immediate experience of sacrifice as soon as we choose to. Because we're sacrificing all that's given by the Father as soon as that choice for the experience of sacrifice is made. So making Jesus the bad guy and not talking to Jesus is just an excuse to keep sacrifice alive. We can ask the light that. In the honesty of God is the desire to deny the voice for God, the desire to keep sacrifice. And here, ooh, that's a definite yes. Saying no to our own light is trying to keep sacrifice and death alive. Have it live in our mind. Live in the dream. Wow. Sacrifice is so essential to your thought system that salvation apart from sacrifice means nothing to you. And we started talking about this. It's such a deep desire. Your confusion of sacrifice and love is so profound you cannot conceive of love without sacrifice. Such a good one. Is there a desire not to conceive love without sacrifice? Infinite love. See? You believe, he's saying, you believe if you could see it, you'd be immediately killed. If you immediately saw the totality of love, you would be annihilated. You can ask them. We'd be annihilated by God. Thus, you desire an experience in which love itself and true salvation is sacrifice. Okay, I trust him. He's 100% right every time. So I'm willing to look at any little twinge. I'm asking him about the 501c application. It's actually quite joyful, actually, to work on that and just go line by line. Okay, Jesus, what do I put here? And just see if there any kind of sacrifice. One, filling out that form. Two, not to just listen. Okay, what do you want on this sentence? It's so light. It's a good practice to stay in present. And just, okay, what do you want me to put on here? What do you call it? I don't know what we're going to call it, not have any plans for whether this even gets accepted or not to be a non-for-profit. Just, yes, Jesus. Then we can just relax and be like totally happy. And just, he's helping us see where that belief in punishment is. We're being punished to follow God. Desire for experience of punishment. Is that in there anywhere? That following God is punishment? Well, I know that was really a deep one looking with him. Let me see if there's any more. I'm willing to look all the time. Because you start seeing how much infinite happiness is behind these energies of denial clearing out through the miracles and just looking directly. That was really great, Mickey. That was so beautiful what she wrote. She wrote a beautiful post. She was responding, talking about it. And it's so we're all finding this. If Jesus will tell me if I'm ready for a miracle or not. That's really listening. That's being willing not to bypass anything and let us really show us what to look at. How beautiful is that? How trusting, what a reflection we're all getting that we can hear his voice and that he's going to fine tune us right into the spots we need to see to save time if we're just willing to look and admit it. It's all admit it. Admit we want, this consciousness playing, wanting it. Okay, I admit it, Jesus. Oh my gosh, the love that's released. Unleash the love within, the miracles. Because we're the miracle. And he says miracles are natural and corrective. So he's helping us to find the miracle constrictions, as we've talked about, as we laugh about our little hashtag miracle constipation. Let's ask him on this. Let's have a little fun with Jesus. Oh, so much love comes when we're playful with him. Really. Oh my gosh, so much love. You desire an experience in awakening to true nature, which knows no sacrifice, is experienced to sacrifice. So Jesus, show us where we're denying miracles through sacrifice, denying infinite, unchanging, supreme happiness. Give it to us. Give it to me. I can stand in that desire. And show me where the miracles are being denied in that. That's what he's helping us find on the beach, because we were talking about that little metal detector. He's just showing us all the places where miracles are specifically being denied. Here's a place to look. Look here. And then just see how love just guides us so gently. Just look here. And to see, he's showing us this, it's not a sacrifice. That belief so strong. It's funny because I was just asking, I was going, okay, well, because he mentions, there being strong circles of fear. He says, yes, but I've given you something now to look below fear, below the guilt, because you have the power to do so. You have the power to see your light and then go with me. Like I laughed and said before, staple yourself to Jesus. Staple yourself to the light. You're already the light, but it's just a helpful way of remembering who we are first. Infinite light. And then if we're not willing yet to do that, to drop the denial that we're light, we can at least staple ourselves to like the one who knows and staple us on. And as we laugh about here, one arm up to Jesus, one arm out to a brother, like that. So we can't go tilt. To Jesus. Listen to Jesus there. Right there. I'm flanked. And it's so beautiful. The joining is like the light, talking to the light about the light. What could be better? So he's saying, I'm giving you something really very simple and an investment in the recognition of divinity, who you are, through conviction that you can speak to me directly, hear my words clearly, and I will direct you in the miracle. Here's where the miracles coagulation. The breadcrumbs, the little breadcrumbs. So don't worry about any big breadcrumbs. Just take the little ones he's offering one at a time. Yes, like this, very gently. Because we're so sure Jesus is an axe murderer. A little. Just look at those doubt thoughts. We can look together. Jesus coming to get me. And I think I've laughed about this with you before and said how I can remember thinking, I'm not sure I really want to talk to Jesus. Things didn't end up so well for me. For him. But consciousness made that symbol of a figure dying on a cross. Yet Jesus is using it, because that looks like suffering and the passion of Christ. No, it's to look at that symbol. You look at it, you're a little kid in church, it's like you're looking up at that every day. He's teaching us you can look up at that through the eyes of Christ, not know what is that? I don't know what it is. You can look up at the cross and crucifixion and see nothing but infinite light in that. Nothing other than divine expression of love. You can ask the light that. Is it possible to look upon the crucifixion, Jesus Christ hanging on a cross, and see it as infinite light? It's the promise of the lesson today. I let him use my eyes. Why not take all of me? Start with the eyes. You can have my ears. You can have my toes. You can have it all. Supreme happiness. You desire an experience where all that you are and to be who you are is sacrifice. This is a really good one to look. We talked about it yesterday. It goes deep, is he'll take you with sacrifice. And just as a reminder, and although a number of you talking about this, so we asked him, Jesus, do I have any desire for sacrifice? It's like we don't want to really look, but just ignore that and just go, okay, let's just see what he says. He goes, yep, you still got that? All right. Let it burn into the light. Can I go any deeper? I'm asking him. That's worthwhile just to have a little session on sacrifice. And if he gives you guidance, then jump on with a mighty. If you hear him, listen to him. I'm hearing you. Yeah, that's a really good one. To stay with him and just practice listening to him and going as deep as you can on that idea that to be with him is sacrifice. And then see how easy, like all the beings are starting to report. It's like just talking and having a conversation. Like I told Teresa's story about, I think she said, if I got this right, Jesus told her, throw that stuff over the fence. I mean, he's really practical. And Teresa says, did I get that right? She can shake her hand. Yeah. Make sure I remembered that right. But it's just practical. Oh, here's the hilarious thing too. So we had a gas leak here. We could not find it. Okay, I supposedly couldn't. And but he told me we could have this. We searched it, we got a little gas sniffer, and I kept hearing Jesus kept telling me that gas leak it's in the oven. It's the stove. He kept telling me it's the stove, it's the stove. It's okay. We couldn't find it, but and whatever. Anyway, we finally paid a group of guys, which was a holy encounter. It's just so amazing. I don't understand hardly anything of what those guys are saying, but I'm out there feeling so much joy. They're out there running around in the courtyard, and it was just amazing. It's so adorable. We're having all these beings. They're coming in and they're just like, oh my gosh, aren't we sent angels? Okay, you can see her head going up and I mean, we're like sent angels here. Yeah. Like angels, really. You don't understand anything they're saying because they're speaking Spanish as fast as you can. Like, and you see that you do not need to understand a single word. Well, plus we have Enrique who translates everything if I need it. But it's really interesting with Enrique because they'll talk for like 15 minutes and then he gives me a sentence. What? He can, I mean, I don't even know what they talked about. Like, I'm just in trust. Okay, Jesus, do I need to be concerned? Okay, he's handling it. But we like these, whatever angels, the Zen monks that we're given that come here, really. In the gardener, we just look at him. He just comes in like he cleaned the sink because the sink, the mineral content, you can't believe the mineral content here. That's why it's hot springs over here. But anyway, it was like this, I don't know what it was on the sink, just coated. And he just spent his time today. Really, he's in there silent, just like this. And then Louise is like this. So, I mean, Enrique, which eventually I'll remember to call Enrique, they're just together. They join, they're in joy. They're doing whatever they do, the needs for the property. They're like teaching us, aren't they? I mean, they're like just peaceful, not a blip, it's, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. And the same thing I would say of the beings that come too. Like if we sent someone, Jesus, do we do this? Have this gas checked? Like every day there's like some kind of repair thing. So it's such great light training. Okay, what now? Is it the roof or the keys? You already saw the keys, but everybody laughs. But it's such good. We just said it's light training. What's it for? It's for light training to go straight up. And Jesus, okay, what do we do? And we have this check. And of course, they come in and checked it. They blow all this water through all the whole pipe system of the, because I'm telling you, there's gas going everywhere, And before I was, they were telling me, oh, you're just going to have to reroute the gas and, you get buried gas lines all over in concrete, Jesus kept going, it's the stove. And I hear you, Jesus, it's the stove. So what did they find today? It's the stove. They couldn't find a leak anywhere. Follow the one who knows. But it was holy purpose. See that too. Even though Jesus says it's a stove, you're still following when he says, okay, Jesus, can we have the, there's like this yes that is like love. So it's not about whether the guys come over. It's for us to see how we're carried by infinite love. And all the ideas the ego has about sacrifice. You're going to live in a foreign country and you don't speak the language and you're going to buy this place and it's going to... And it's the way that Jesus is using for us to see you're so carried. Like you fall in love with every vendor that comes in that door. And that, I mean, it's just so off the rails. They're like the guy who drives and picks people up at the airport. I mean, these guys have way, they're just Jesuses. They're just all Jesuses. It's beautiful to show us if we have the opportunity, we say yes, so we can see that it's no sacrifice. We're love itself, infinite, unchanging love. But if we don't give the Spirit the opportunity to show that by keeping asking and work through this idea with Him so He can show us that sacrifice is impossible for infinite. Let's ask the light. In the divine light of divine being and honesty of God, does the light know sacrifice? So as long as that desire, that energy of wanting it, wanting the experience of sacrifice, it's always going to seem like sacrifice. It's going to seem like sacrifice to talk to Jesus. And we'll avoid it. And it shows up, it feels like sacrifice to talk to our brother. It'll feel like sacrifice every single time we hear the voice. Because we desire an experience of sacrifice to avoid the voice. Ask the light that. To see, hear what the light says. Is that true, Jesus? Well, I always feel like I'm sacrificing something when I talk to you if I don't release the desire for the experience of sacrifice with you. You will never have a chance to see that there can be no sacrifice until we're willing to look directly at it as deeply as He wants to take us on the ride, to see that there's nothing under it other than the desire for that. And that in the light of divine being, it's impossible to be two. So He's taking us down there to see that sacrifice is nada. You desire an experience which love seems to deny to you, and love fails you all while denying it to yourself. So let's just ask Jesus, in the light of divine being, is sacrifice a means by which I'm denying love to myself? Then at least we can be honest if it shows up. And will I always feel that love is denied me as long as I hold on to desire for an experience of sacrifice? Will I always feel like love's being denied to me? And hear the light. Yes, beloved. Jesus, will you help me to see through this desire for the experience of sacrifice, and ask Him? It's like, of course, beloved. Anyone hear the light say no? That's His function in the atonement. You believe God demands sacrifice, and being one with God, you demand sacrifice of yourself and thus experience it as true. Jesus, is there any desire for me to demand sacrifice of myself? I'm willing to see any energy around that. It gets quicker and quicker, in which He goes right. How can infinite love know sacrifice? How can what never changes know sacrifice? We have to look. And as the beings are expressing here, you've got to look directly, because the ego is going to try, the play in consciousness is to observe, it's going to ping. It's going to, I call it the ping. You just start to go in, and it's like that diversion. And why we have to ask Him, okay, show me this. My belief, the desire for an experience that God would demand sacrifice. And thus, being the same as God, is the light light? Is there anything other than light? Can we get away from the light? Infinite? Then I'm sacrificing myself. I'm desiring myself to feel sacrifice, because is the light asking for sacrifice? Is the light coming in there and saying, okay, now this Sunday, you're going to have to bring 4 fatted calves? This is the belief of our level of awareness. So we got to look directly. We can laugh about it, but we're going to be crying about it as long as we have any kind of idea there that that's what's needed to appease God. I could see that too, for like if I was really good, that kind of sacrifice. See, if I was really good at this spirituality, I could win God. That's a really good one to get over too, really quickly, but that plays. If I was just good enough, see, I could win God. That's a form of sacrifice. I asked Jesus, he says yes. That was a play in consciousness. And we're looking again at pain and illness of the body is a form of desire for the experience of self-sacrifice. Let's ask them. Is pain and illness of the body a form of desire for the experience of self-sacrifice? Just hear the answer. We just admit it. All right. Once again, you're right, Jesus. In an attempt to win false salvation. I'm asking him, must this be seen through for peace of mind? Yes. There is no peace of mind. Let's ask the light. Is there any peace of mind as long as this is floating around below our level of awareness? That whack-a-mole is going to pop up. And we're going to feel whacked because we desire to be whacked. Smacked by consciousness. I don't know what happened. Pain and illness of the body is a form of desire for the experience of self-sacrifice and an attempt to win false salvation and love. Again, ask him to show you. He's saying yes. Ask him to show you where there is false salvation and sacrifice. It's like, show me that, Jesus, so I can really get that, because that flips everything. It'll flip that. Not to mention when you see how helpful it is to work with him so directly. And if you're not sure how to do it, you can join with a brother. Ask for joining. Anybody who's watching this, ask to be added to and really wants to join the Light Brigade, ask to join our Facebook Messenger group. It's so beautiful because somebody can just, any being in the group can say, I need to join. And if someone's available, they jump on board. It's so beautiful to look together and practice hearing that voice and speaking that voice. The experience of self-sacrifice and an attempt to win false salvation and love. I just lost the page. Let's see. It is the true meaning of, we get back to guilty pleasure. We just went through this, I think talked about it yesterday, but this is a good thing to see deeply. Guilty pleasure. To see, I don't know if I can express how immeasurably valuable it is to work with Jesus until he shows you and reveals to you, I'll say you, the pleasure in pain. Actually that itch, that wanting of pain, like wanting it. Because we think pain is, oh, it's over there and it's pain, and then pleasure's over here. But until we see they're married, they're married at the altar of death is where they're married. And really have them, okay, Jesus, just show me that the guilty pleasure, how there's guilt and pleasure under pain. I'm just willing to look, just do an experiment with them. It's all an experiment. Because we can go back, we can always go back to the old way because the ego's been playing there. But once you see it, you won't want to. You just be going, whoa, this is what he's been talking about all this time. And then you're like jumping in with both feet all the way. Okay, show me everything. Show me everything. Because he's so gentle with it, when we just open and let him show us, and in the beings, you can see it in those videos. Everybody's going like, it's just so friendly. It melts when I just admit it. And when we look directly, takes you down the rabbit hole to see, wait a minute, there's nothing under there. It's like we start infinite light, go down the ladder. Oh, I see the desire. Oh, I really want it. Oh my gosh, I want choice. What's under choice? Oh, there's nothing under there. It's like, nothing under there. Okay. It's just such a reinforcement that Jesus's way is the only way. So much love. We love you so much. We're so grateful to have you just come and have a brother, mighty companion hug. And of course, if you feel your heart to calling to come and spend some time. Oh yeah, well, she wants me to, a couple of beings have approached us about joining in January or coming for a month at the devotional center. If you do, you just have to fill out an application, make sure you do or don't, and with that we join on it, because we were wondering, are they going to just show up here? So it's really good. You know, we fill out an application so we know, and then we know for sure you're coming, and make sure that we have space available if you're coming for a month. We have 1 to 3 month devotional stays, and there's opportunities. We realize some beings just can't at this moment get that level of time. So we can possibly find there'll be places nearby. You can come for shorter times and just visit daily here at the center for a week, probably a minimum of a week if you wanted to do something like that. But there's opportunities for that if you want that deep dive at looking and learning really how to listen to Jesus and let him step you down. But the immersion's really most helpful, 1 to 3 months, just really it'll clean some closets for sure. Sure. Yeah, definitely. So we love you all, and we'll post out when it's time for the joining tomorrow. We love you.